My name is Adam Kligfeld. I am the Senior Rabbi of Temple Beth Am in Los Angeles. This is my 26th year as a rabbi. I spent 9 years at a small synagogue in upstate New York, and then I moved from there to Los Angeles to be the Senior Rabbi of Temple Beth Am in 2009, and now I operate an institution that has more employees than my previous community had members. I was asked to accept this honor by my dear friend and colleague, Rabbi Jacob Blumenthal, who was a USY regional director when I was in USY, and in some ways was a role model for me then and still is now. I remember in USY when I was late teenager, early 20s, at the USY International Convention, there was always an Alumni of the Year award. I remember thinking to myself, I wonder if I'm gonna have the kind of Jewish life that would one day bring me back and win such an award. And then it was out of my consciousness for 30 years. So for it to come back and for USY to tap me on the shoulder and say, Adam, we're proud of what you did then. We're proud of what you've taken from your USY leadership and contributed to the Jewish community in the decades hence, that's a source of great satisfaction and validation for me. My paternal grandfather, my Saba, Rabbi Bernard Kligfeld, was a Reform rabbi, and his son, my father Michael, was considering the rabbinate, but he chose to become a psychiatrist instead. I spent most of college trying to convince myself to do anything but be a rabbi. And if I was going to be a rabbi, I certainly wasn't going to be a pulpit rabbi. And if I was going to be a pulpit rabbi, I certainly wouldn't be a rabbi of a big, large, urban corporate synagogue. So we see how that worked out. And I kind of found my sense of self and ego and confidence through youth group, through USY.
We need you. USY is a fabulous opportunity for you to experience Judaism.
I was an awkward pre-adolescent and adolescent. I was bullied. I was not comfortable in my own skin. I was a smart kid. I was a chubby kid. And those two things were not a good combination in the Connecticut public schools in the 1970s. I went kicking and screaming to my first Kadima event at the beginning of 8th grade. I left that meeting on the board somehow of my little Kadima chapter. Fell in love with it that year. I went to the USY encampment to begin 9th grade. And really from that point until I graduated high school 4 years later, I didn't miss a single event in my chapter, in my region, or even internationally. I found my voice. I found my friends. I found that I had some talent in leadership that I had no idea was lurking. It was a radical transformation from an awkward kid who didn't really like himself into someone who looked in the mirror and realized that I had something to offer the world, adults, and the people around me. So it is no hyperbole to say USY was everything to me. It's hard for me to fathom my life trajectory without having had the experience of being pushed into an early Kadima event and coming out on the other end, this person, this rabbi, this Jew.
Adam and I have been married for 26 years. We met our senior year at USY. One of my first memories of him was his speaking. He was already really comfortable in front of a crowd and always said really moving and impressive things that would, stir us, that would be memorable. He had a lot of that spark, and I think USY cultivated so many of those skills. I mean, it gave him all these opportunities to be immersed in Jewish tradition, Jewish learning, and all this leadership opportunity that just most high school kids don't get. I think what people often don't see behind the scenes is just how complex the job is to be a rabbi and how you're shifting hour to hour to do so many different things and to be important to so many different people who need you. From just the basic, meetings to counseling sessions, to teaching, to learning, to fundraising, to managing crises, to visiting people in hospitals. He just shifts constantly all day long. And he just does it. I think he thrives on it. I think he loves his community and he loves his people. Actually, our oldest daughter, when she was a teenager, once said to me, "Thank you for marrying him. He's a great dad. He's so present. He'll come home at the end of a very long day and they want him to read one of their papers or they have a question and he will always do it. He'll say, I gave myself to so many people today. This is my family. I'm not gonna be too tired to show up for them." And that's what he does, always. I think USY chose Adam because USY was so foundational to him. He was foundational to it. And I think also because he's an exemplary rabbi. And I think that it's so lovely that they're honoring him for that.
My dad loves USY. He's always loved USY. And that love has sort of poured out of him in terms of how he raised us, how he encourages congregants and students at our school to be involved in USY, how he, in general, is encouraging of Jewish youth and Jewish leadership. USY has always been baked into my dad's life. My parents actually met first through USY. My parents joked that maybe I would meet my spouse in USY, and then I did on Nativ. So that shows, I guess, how I was raised with this idea that this thing is special, that something about bringing Jewish teens together to learn and to pray and to plan their own social events and their own Jewish events is important. And I think that my dad has been a real advocate for USY and a real cheerleader for it throughout the years. And I'm really grateful that he's been recognized for that.
My dad creates such a strong connection with all of the members of the community. My dad uses humor and wisdom to teach Torah and to teach Judaism. And seeing every day how he helps people shows me how good of a rabbi he is. Those are the traits I think that made him be honored by USY.
I met Adam Kligfeld at a USY International Board meeting in Nyack, New York in May of 1988 when I had just become regional president of New Frontier, and he was regional religion education vice president of Connecticut, soon to be Hanefesh USY. USY has produced an incredible number of leaders, people who've gone on to important roles in the Jewish community, important roles in the political world, important roles in the business world. Adam was a leader among leaders, and it was clear from very early on that he was going to be a special member of the USY alumni world and a special member of the Jewish community. And he has been a leader of a major congregation that is really, I think, the epitome of what a committed conservative community in America still could look like today in Los Angeles. And he is in some ways the epitome of the product of a USY experience and USY education and what that could be in terms of continuity for the Jewish community.
I know Adam Kligfeld for close to 45 years now, going back to our days as campers at Camp Ramah, and we overlapped in USY together. We were both regional presidents at the same time. Anytime you spend with Adam, talking to Adam, being around Adam, it's hard not to be uplifted and to always feel heard and seen and challenged to be your best self. And he's really just a wonderful role model of what USY can produce, someone who is so incredibly committed to Jewish practice and tradition, to our conservative movement, to a love of tefillah, and to being a mensch, really in so many ways. It's just wonderful that he's been able to share his gifts and his soul with so many people in our Jewish world over these last 40 some odd years since he first got involved in USY.
He really just brings out the best of people and really wants to motivate people and encourage people. We have grown as a community, we have grown as individuals, and we're in a really great place because all the efforts Adam has put into our community. We're just blessed to have him not only as our rabbi, as our leader, but as our friend. He's part of our family.
I want to thank the current leadership of USY for producing this event and for choosing to honor me. I am honored to be honored, but most importantly, I hope that this event raises an enormous amount of tzedakah so that my being honored contributes to the ongoing thriving and recreation and revivification of USY deep into the future.